Disney's gone woke. They're redoing a lot of their classics. They're redoing The Little Mermaid, and as part of them,
they made her black randomly. They're making everybody black. And
Everyone's
There's
black
been a
and
black
gay and
Cinderella
trans
forever,
everyone.
though. So.
but
in every show.
Everywhere.
but
Yeah.
okay, so how is this related?
Representation matters.
Just like Latinas.
Yeah, but like,
Stop it. Get some help.
they took Lord of the Rings and they changed races that were like specifically white to black. Like,
But it doesn't really matter.
I think it does.
It doesn't.
It's you don't think so? You don't think it matters
No.
that they're taking stories and they're intentionally changing the races of everybody?
You know what?
Everybody, all types of people have been around since the beginning of times. Everybody needs
Question.
to be
Wait,
represented.
question.
Not when it's ahistorical. What's the point of making historical epics where you've got historically European people and then just inserting a ton of black people?
But there's
into
been
it?
black people in historical Europe.
Well, let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Prevalent black people, actually.
House of the Dragons.
Are you about to tell me about the Moors?
No, I was gonna mention the writer. I can't remember his name right now, but he was he's black, and he was like one
Charlemagne?
of the ancient Greek theater. He was a black writer.
So that's okay.
But that
Been
doesn't have
around.
anything to do with switching characters that were traditionally and historically.
Yeah, the
Europe.
Little
But
Mermaid.
for Little Mermaid, it doesn't matter if she's
Hold on,
black or white or
Hold
blue
on.
or purple or pink.
Wait,
Because
question.
there's an agenda to change the races of everybody in all media, and also the sexuality. They're making everybody different
Okay,
races.
well,
and-
sexuality
and
is
also
different. Yeah,
homosexuality.
everyone's gay.
But
That's
in the
different.
case of the Little Mermaid, do you know where the Little Mermaid is from? Where the story
No,
originates?
'cause it's a
from
Disney
Denmark.
movie.
It's from Denmark. It's
Oh.
a myth from Denmark, which is it's a white country. So why do they have to take this like Danish, fairy tale and then make her black? It
They're
doesn't make
doing
any
it for
sense.
representation because it's not that deep. It's a Disney movie, so
But they're
little.
doing it for everything.
Everything has an
nowadays.
agenda.
Yeah.
They're doing it for everything now.
I can't speak on the other parts, but I don't know. I mean, there was a black Cinderella though when I was growing up. Brandy was Cinderella. So,
Yeah.
like that was a long time ago.
With like an Asian prince and then a white
Yeah,
dad. And
like it was all different. It doesn't matter. Kids
I
don't
think it
care.
does. I think it
mean,
does.
with race, it's not like a
think
negative
there's-
thing. Now, sexuality,
It's just a hyperfixation.
that's pushing
All
something.
of
It is a
Unless you just-
hyperfixation.
It's like, does nobody find it concerning that is the main topic of every news article?
Here.
What?
Everything.
It's
It's
Ethnicity?
always race, sexuality. Like if somebody's a shooter, the first thing they ask is what was
Sexuality
their
and
race and
ethnicity
pronoun.
and
Like,
race
it's
are two
fucking
different
weird.
things.
No,
But
it's
everybody's
all-
putting it together.
That's
What
different.
she's saying is that there's this insane focus on like
Focus on
gender
that. It's
identity
only
and
really
racial
fitting.
identity
But
constantly.
those are different. Those are not in the same category in any instance
I
at
agree.
all.
I think that they
No,
are.
right,
I think that they are.
I don't.
I think that they are. Obviously,
people are
race
putting
and,
them in the
gender and
same
sexuality are
category.
different things, but like,
Sexuality is not the same thing as race. It's
duh.
like not
No,
the same
not at
cat-
all.
Obviously, but my point is that in the past like 20 years, there's been this like push to focus everything on that. Now, when you watch TV, you never see like normal white couples in commercials nowadays. It's always like every race other than white, and it's
Because
like
that's not the reality of the world anymore.
what percentage of Americans are white?
I don't know. I don't
'Cause you
believe,
say it's not
I
that
don't
you s-
believe
if
in
they- if
like
they were
census
doing-
stuff
if they-
actually. So
Doesn't
Wait, you don't believe in census? We've got a census denier.
Census
I
denier
just
in the
because
chat.
a lot of people don't participate, and there's like
Yeah.
I could get into something that I really like logically think makes sense, but it's not worth it.
Just say
but-
it. Just say it.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't think is just to
You don't
stay
believe in Santa?
on. What?
Huh?
Just to stay on topic, census, like, I don't know how accurate those numbers are because a lot of people don't participate. So I'll just say that.
Like illegal aliens and stuff.
No, like me, I don't participate in the census
What about? I thought representation matters. Why don't you participate in the census?
because I don't care about that.
Well, not everybody.
No, I'm talking about representation for children on TV. Like kids should be able to look on TV
Why
and see people
can't-
that look like them in like
That's fair
in
enough. but
cartoons
it's
and
like,
stuff.
That's fair, but it's all the time, always now.
hyperfixation.
It's the topic of
Yes.
every
Why
discussion.
can't? Why can't
great.
they? Why can't?
That's amazing.
Okay,
That's
so-
amazing.
So, I want to ask you. I
Yes.
want to ask you a question.
It's a psyop.
It is a psyop. I want to ask you a question. So, like, yes, I agree that it's good for like kids to like for example, I think if I was a black kid growing up in America and I saw what's the Panther movie or whatever?
Black Panther.
Yeah,
Black Panther. Like I'd be hyped, right? When I was
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah,
a kid,
that's
as
good.
like a young white boy, I saw Spider-Man and I was like, yo, I relate to him so much. I saw myself in Peter Parker, and I think it's good for kids of all races and everything to have like role models that they can look up to in media.
Yeah.
But it's like, why can't they just leave the Little Mermaid to be the Danish thing that it originated as? Why can't they leave the Lord of the Rings to be what it originated as? Why do they have to change? Tolkien would be like, yo, what are you doing changing the races of all of these people that were like explicitly this race and that
Do you know
race?
kids don't care about race, right? They
Okay,
don't care about
that's
that.
such a non sequitur. The point is like why is it wrong for me to want, stories preserved the way that they've been
Well,
told
that
for a long
story
time?
doesn't disappear. The Little Mermaid, the original one, is
It
still
does when
out.
it's an Amazon series.
Can I
It's
give?
still
I want
out.
to give one example.
I still
here.
watch the original one with the
Okay,
white girl and the red hair.
Okay,
like,
hold on. Let me just give one example where like it does to some degree actually have an impact on the story. You're speaking of Lord of the Rings, which has a very faithful fan base. The lore of Lord of the Rings
very
is
deep.
very important.
Yep.
Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, also has a very deep lore, deep fan base. They recently released House of the Dragon, which is the prequel to Game of Thrones, and in that show, they changed one of the not the Targaryen houses, one of the Valerian houses who have dragon's blood they made them black, even though
Okay.
in the books they were white. Now,
Okay.
where does this? I don't know if I want to. Should I do spoilers? And it's been out for fucking.
Yeah, just do it.
Okay, so there is a child that is born between both of these two houses. What am I?
It's a good super chat. Keep going.
these are
There's-
all fiction stuff,
child.
right?
But it's part of the lore, so it kind of diminishes the story because, like, there's infidelity.
Okay.
And because she was legally married to, in the show, the dude's black.
Mm-hmm.
And she has really white kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not like mixed kids, as you would expect. But like in the books, it's a bit more ambiguous of was there infidelity, was there not? But it's like so fucking clear that the kids in the show are not actually her kids.
Is that detrimental to
Yeah.
the storyline?
Yes, because
He's also
because
No,
it calls
is
it
race
into question.
detrimental to the overall storyline of
Well,
the show?
what I'm saying is that it does impact the story because there's questions over the succession, in terms of who's going to become king. Well, you have bastard children. You cannot take the throne. Then motherfuckers be getting chomped by dragons and shit. Motherfucker, this poor kid got fucking killed. Killed, right? Fucking killed. Anybody in the chat know what I'm talking about?
All right,
I don't
we're
watch. I've never
spurging.
seen
We're
it.
spurging.
I've never
Let me
seen that.
roll it
so-
back.
Yeah.
Let's roll it back for a moment.
Let's
okay?
roll-
let's roll it back.
let's roll it back
You
to the-
said hold on.
Wait,
hold
one
on.
question.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold
you
the
go,
phone.
You
Hold
go,
the phone.
and then
okay?
I'll go.
You said kids don't care about race.
They don't. They're taught that
Then why do we have to change it?
because kids should see people that look like them.
Why? If they don't care.
No, I'm saying that they don't care. Like, okay, a white girl who is watching The Little Mermaid now that she's black, she's not going to be like, oh, she's black, I'm mad, she's black, I want to see a white. She's not going to care. She's going to be like, oh, that looks like my friend or whatever.
Wouldn't that go both
but
ways, though?
there's a what?
Wouldn't that go both ways though? Like if it's a black girl watching the Little
There's
Mermaid
already
and
a
she's
white
black.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So why don't we just leave her, the Little
Because
Mermaid,
now
and
we're
make a new
being
movie?
more.
Why
Adding,
why don't we
we're
just
now
make
we're
a new
adding
movie
black
with
Why
a
don't we
black
make
girl?
new stories? Why do we have to take all these stories that already exist and make
I
everybody
mean,
black or whatever? Like, why is that necessary?
You could do that too, but I just don't think that that's a negative thing. I think that that's a positive thing.
I think Tolkien would disagree. I think he'd be like, yo, why did you just bastardize
I don't know who
my
that
entire...
is.
He's the guy who made Lord of the Rings. He'd be like, yo, why
Well,
did you just
I
bastardize
don't
my
watch
entire
Lord
story?
of the Rings, so you keep bringing that up, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
The person who wrote The Little Mermaid, they'd be like, yo, why did you make it a black woman when it was...
I mean, the
frickin'
story
Danish
has
folklore?
nothing to do with
Okay,
like.
I
It's
ha-
not
Here, I got a
hurting
question.
Story.
Question for you.
The storyline.
Would you be okay with a white person playing Django and Django Unchained?
That's the movie with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, that one. The slavery.
Yeah,
Well,
Ryan Gosling is
okay, so
Django.
about that
Ryan
movie,
Gosling.
right? I love Ryan Gosling.
He plays Django.
But listen, so that movie has factual based. Little Mermaid, it's completely fictional.
Okay,
it's
so
a fairy tale.
What if someone made a movie about like a bunch of slaves getting freed from captivity in the South,
Okay.
but all of them were cast as white when the original
See,
people
that's
were black?
do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that factual stories, race plays a
Oh, but,
part.
like, for fiction
but
and, like-
fictional, as far as like carrying on the storyline, it's not like
Then why change
detrimental.
Wait, for like
Little
for
Mermaid.
like for like
the
really,
reason, the answer
really
to your
meaningful
question
stories
is
to people,
why
like, who cares?
is to create representation for all different types
One-
of kids.
Hey, rather than like redoing stories for representation for
creating
kids, they should just make new stories.
I mean, they could do that too.
They should do that. Like if
Yeah.
I made a story and people were like, "Yeah, we're gonna change all the characters around,"
But
I'd be
I
like,
think
"Yo,
it's
screw
great
you."
that the Little Mermaid is black. It's
I got one thing
amazing.
and then I'll move on. Okay.
And I like the original one too with the
Listen.
with Denmark girl.
Django Unchained was fictional as far as I know. Also, one time I was at this party.
No, but
Hold
it's
on.
based on slavery, which is a
Well,
real
that's-
thing that
yes,
happened.
that's-
Are you
that's
telling
right.
me
Wait.
Middle Earth wasn't real?
Oh my god.
What?
No, we
Never
Okay.
mind.
One
Well,
time
I was gonna say mermaids aren't real, but then never
Well-
mind because those could be real.
One-
Census denier and a mermaid denier, dude. It is
Census denier.
over.
mermaids are real.
one time I was at
yeah,
this
that's why I didn't say that.
one time I was at this party in Burbank and there's definitely a chick there in like a mermaid getup. So like
Okay.
never say never, guys.
Mermaids
I mean,
are real.
yeah.
Though I want to get back to the
Kinda
original
saying, right?
point.
What?